Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We are going to continue our rogue, no dust, no worries ladder climb. So let's hop straight back in. Okay, rogue mirror, interesting. I always really enjoy the rogue mirror. You can tell a lot from another player based on basically how they play the class. Do I keep attendee? He can coin weapon attendee. He can coin weapon down the attendee. I think I throw it back. I think I save it for later where it's less efficient for him to take it down. The attendee can be a very useful taunt just to get in the way, like I said last time. Okay, Ooze pickup is great. Yeah, so I wonder if you guys have been keeping up with other Blizzard news. If you've been watching the BlizzCon keynotes, you'll probably know that Legacy of the Void is launching. Do I weapon or do I ooze? I ooze for tempo. You probably know that Legacy of the Void is launching in about, where I am in about, let's see, well it's almost 7 in the morning now, and it launches about 4 in the afternoon. So 5 plus 4, in about 9 hours. I'm debating myself whether to pick it up or, good to see he doesn't have a backstab there. Whether to pick up the game as soon as it's launched or wait for specials, because I get the impression there will be specials. And before I forget, I'm going to put the LotV launch details into the show notes, so you guys can check it out there. I would also really encourage you to check out the Legacy of the Void trailer, which is sick, mad cool. You know, everyone says this, but Blizzard knows how they. Blizzard knows how to make trailers. What do I do? Do I use the backstab to clear the sword? This suggests to me this is some sort of a mill rogue. Yeah, let's do it. If it's a mill rogue, he probably has cold lights in there, so I want to empty my hand as much as possible. Probably not something that I would normally do, but there's. When it comes to mill rogues, you've got double Death Lord, double Cold Light, double Shadow Step, maybe even a couple of Youthful Brewmasters, and a load of, there's the Cold Light, and a load of Healbots and Vanishes and stuff. A very intricate deck to play. Personally, not a fan of it myself. I will empty my hand. The question is, do I weapon up or do I empty my hand some more? I will empty my hand some more, because he is obviously playing to mill me. When you're going up against a mill rogue, and let me just explain what mill is. Mill aims to fill your hand past 10 cards, such that when you already have 10 cards in your hand, any more cards that you draw from your deck, naturally or by other means, will just be destroyed. And I think that's what milling refers to, having cards in your deck be destroyed, and that in essence is value. They gain value by destroying your deck. They don't actually have to destroy your minions, they destroy your deck. That's why cards such as Vanish and so forth are pretty good. But that was a pretty slow turn from him, and I've been able to develop my Ogre and put in a ton of damage. I think this deck should do okay against mill, but it depends on the skill of the milling rogue. If the milling rogue has all the cards and all the tech, it's pretty hard to win against with regular rogue. Okay, yeah. So usually you'd be sapping at Boulder Fist. You wouldn't usually run an assassinate in a mill rogue deck. It's always better to fill up their hand again. Yeah, and again, I'm just going to dump my hand. No easy way to dump my hand. So I might as well just play the biggest thing, since that assassinate play leads me to believe that he doesn't have a sap in his hand, or that if he did, he didn't want to play it, or that he doesn't have a Vanish in his hand. Because I definitely would have sapped the Ogre last turn or vanished the entire board last turn, and he had 6 mana, so it's very, very much a possibility for him. This looks like our friend here is missing a couple of the mill cards, or has drawn not great. See, again, backstab not a thing I would put in mill rogue. It's all about filling your opponent's hand, all about making them overdraw and taking things out of their deck. The Healbot is fine. The Healbot is an excellent card, and the Gang Up on the Healbot is an excellent combo, although a little slow if I don't say so myself. Okay, yep, this is fine. I'm going to push for a ton of damage using my Stormwind Champ, protecting the most important minion on the board. Did I miss lethal? No, I didn't. But we have a very strong lethal possibility in the future. Even if he draws a heal bot, the heal bot is actually quite slow. It gains you a lot of health. Heal bot is great against burn classes, but not so great against board control classes. There we go. There is the Vanish. It's a little too late though. I think he drew it a little too late, since his health is so low. But you never know. Okay, yep. I will shoot and I will play this stuff. The reason why I shoot is I want to force him to deal with this. If he vanishes this back to my hand, I'm just going to shoot him again. So, which makes cards like Stormpikes, cards like SI7, any cards that have a battle cry deal damage, very powerful. There we go. I've got my sap for that if I feel so inclined. Yeah, I wouldn't put Eviscerate in here. Yeah, so I think our rogue friend needs a little bit more refining of his or her deck. But you know, valiant effort. I really appreciate the amount of effort. Here's our sap that goes into playing a non-meta deck, playing a non-popular net decked thing. That was a fun game. Like I said, you can tell a lot from what a rogue is doing just by their first initial turns. And I think I might have been even a little slow on the uptake, recognizing that it was mill just based on the first Dancing Swords. Alright, let's hop straight back in. And I just realized, looking at the blurry Tauren in the background, that we have just reached rank 17. Excellent! I'm very happy about that. Looks like our win rate is going up slightly as well, so it's very encouraging. 1, 2, I can play 1, 1, weapon up to this 3. I think that's a little slow. I'll just keep the 2 1s. I might not even play the Voodoo Doctor on the first turn. I might not even coin out the Voodoo Doctor. I'll probably just play the Attendee and then use the Voodoo Doctor for healing. It's so important against hunters to have a little bit of healing in hand, to make as much value of the healing you have as possible. So if I draw Earthen Ring, I want to heal for the full 3. I don't want to heal for just 1. I want to heal for 2. Again, taking my own advice, it's really important to remember this. Don't kill the scientist for him. Is there anything else I want to do? No. Yeah, I'm going to save my backstab. It's so much more important to backstab a Huffer or a Knife Juggler. So I'm not going to kill the scientist for him. I'm going to have him kill the scientist himself. And there's another really important point, actually. I've been thinking about this. Why you don't kill the scientist? Because every turn you leave the scientist up, there's another chance that he draws a secret from his deck into his hand, thereby increasing the chance that the scientist will whiff. I'm going to trigger the secret and then play the ooze, because I don't want my ooze dying to the explosive. And we are in a very strong position. He was forced to trade his scientist in. He couldn't pick what secret he played. I got the ooze off and I've got a little bit of healing on my face, and we're representing a lot of damage on the board. So I think we're pretty set for this game. Can't stress enough how important it is to get an early start against the hunter. Save your backstabs for the huffers. They're always huffers, and it's always huffer. But I have a backstab. I also have a Stormpike if I need. So yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You know, you do what you got to do, my friend. You do what you got to do. So I've got the backstab. I'm going to spend both of them. Develop my board. You know, he got 6 damage in there, but I got 5 damage in, and there's 11 damage looking at him next turn. That's why it's so important. The issue with FaceHunter is that their minions are very fragile, high value if they can protect the board. So like, yep, okay, thank you for that. High value if that I don't think he can clear my minions. He has to go face. So the issue here is we're racing towards kill command. Okay, what puts more damage? I'm just going to play Ogre. I could have gone Assassins, but I think I have enough life here. Double kill command is 10 damage, and he needs a beast on the board. So the most he can deal 10. The earliest chance he can deal 10 damage is 7 mana, playing a web spinner, kill command. So it's 7 mana for 10 damage, assuming nothing else on the board. Okay, this is going to be interesting. How much are we looking at? Do I have lethal? 13. Oh, I've got way more than lethal. Okay. You know what? I don't usually like to BM, but you play FaceHunter on the ladder. I'm gonna BM you. Whoops. That didn't work out for you, did it? Come on, pick a different deck to play. If you want to just get wins, I don't know. Play something a little more skillful. Anyway, always feels good to crush those face decks. Alright, let's hop in right again, see if we can get to rank 16. Interesting. Another good matchup for us. Priest is traditionally very slow, very untempo. The healing ability is really good tempo if you have minions, but if I can keep your minions off the board, then the healing really is very the ability is basically, let me rephrase, the healing ability is hyper dependent on the priest having something on the board that he can heal, which makes silences and saps and just hard removal against the priest so powerful. Maybe I should have dug for a sap, because this is a dragon priest, and that's the usual archetype you'll see on the ladder. Again, I'm going to develop my raider. Even though I could have weaponed up and played the raider next turn, I very much value having board control, having the tempo, and forcing my opponent to play reactively, to spend their resources. Interesting. I think I dropped the pyro. I don't think I run anything in. I dropped the pyro. It's very it's very tempting to overspend resources killing a Death Lord, but you have to realize that a Death Lord doesn't actually have. Ooh, okay, that's tough. I need a sap then. This is a gimmick deck. Yeah, this is a gimmick deck, which isn't a bad thing. Divine Spirit, Inner Fire, and sometimes you'll just lose to it. I don't have anything. I have to, I think, heal just to prevent the lethal. We one off. Yeah, I really needed a sap there or a silence. Let me see if I have a silence. Let me just pull up. No, I don't have a silence, so I would like one. But sap, yeah. So perhaps I want 2 saps? I always feel that if drawing 2 of them would be disastrous, then you should never have 2 of them in your deck. And I think that having 2 saps, like drawing 2 saps, is probably disastrous. Alright, let me just count them. 10, no, not enough. Alright, well played. You got me with, it's a little gimmicky, but it's powerful if you pull it off. So, hey, sometimes it happens. And I like that Death Lord combo. Okay, let's hop in again. Okay. I'm going to want to start fast against the Warlock. So I'm going to throw back the Shattered Suns. The Blood Sail is okay. Ideally, I want some backstabs. These cards are fine. I would have really liked a 1-drop or a backstab. But depending on what Warlock it is, we will see. I'm assuming Zoolock. Like I said before, when you mulligan and you have no idea what class they are, unless you have very good reason, like say you know the player, if you're playing at very high rank, just assume the most aggressive form of the deck, and you'll do generally okay, because if you don't assume the most aggressive form of the deck and he's running the most aggressive form, which is usually the most popular form on ladder, you'll probably lose. Okay, I think I will go ooze. There's nothing for me to ooze except a Lord Jaraxxus here, which seems, it's a possibility, but I'm not going to save an ooze for like 9 turns. The reason, this is a hand lock. The reason I ooze is I want to play this on turn 4. Yep, let's do this. We're going to hit. I will develop our Voodoo Doctor just to put some more pressure on. Next turn I can sap a Bone Guard. It seems like he's either going to silence this or taunt it up. It'll be a slightly awkward play. Okay, there's the Mortal Coil. Yeah. Okay, there's the silence. It's not too bad. It's not too bad since I can develop my Bone Guard and weapon up. I don't think I will Dark Iron because the Dark Iron doesn't give me any reach. I don't need the reach of the Dark Iron. That's what I mean. I will clear the Silenced Watcher though. And we're in a decent position. The main issue is when he starts dropping Giants. Mountain Giants and Drakes and whatnot. I don't have enough silences in this deck to defeat a handlock. You really need something. You need silences. You need maybe multiple saps. You probably even need things like Betrayal. And handlocks aren't that popular on the ladder these days. I think I'm gonna have to sap that. Oh, it's painful. It's painful. No, I'm not going to sap that. You know what? I'm going to push damage to his face. That's the only way I can really win. I have to save the sap for a high value target, and I'm probably gonna be able to weapon up next turn, even though I might be gnomish sapping. Yeah. Drake is much like Deathlord. You can overspend resources on killing it, but it's actually only like it's a 4 attack, 4 mana minion, so it's not too bad. Especially since the Warlock is going to go for board control. Yeah, we're in a bit of trouble here. Shadowpan would be great. Should I just develop? Yeah, I think I should just develop Shadowpan, because Gnomish dies easily, very cheaply to the Drake, whereas Shadowpan is going to take both of his minions to trade in. Even though I didn't get the 3 attack buff, it can do a ton of work. Especially if I draw into one of my Voodoo Doctors to heal up the Shadowpan after trading. That would be excellent. Okay, looks like he doesn't have any Giants in hand. Okay, interesting. This is when I want to sap. Okay, but obviously not a great time to sap. I'm going to leave the Zombie Chow up. It might be tempting to clear the Zombie Chow first. Oh, I should have drawn a card first. That was a misplay from my part. It wouldn't have changed the turn, but sometimes it does change the turn. I like to leave the Zombie Chow up because the Zombie Chow represents 5 healing, and you can cash that in when that matters to you. And it was much more important for me to clear the Drake so that it wouldn't challenge my Gnomish. This 2 attack and 3 attack is not enough for them to individually challenge the Gnomish, so it's not too bad. We're not in too bad a position, but I'm really fearing the Drake, not the Drakes, he's already played 1 Drake, the Mountain Giants, and probably the LJs. There we are, it's going to be problematic. Do I just sap? I think I might have to. It's not a great play, but there's nothing else that's a great play. I think I have to sap. It's a little weak, and I don't want to. Yeah, I'll sap Boulder, actually. I was thinking I had to Pyro, but that line of play involved me not hitting the Argus. There was no need for me to Pyro there. It's fine. The sap is fine because I think he still. How much did he pay for it? He paid 4. It's not too bad, and it blocks the 8 damage. That's not too bad either. Okay, why didn't you put that? That was a misplay. You should have put them both down. You should have put them both down there and then. Okay, excellent. Let me think this through. I can charge. I think I should do the burning first. I should do the burning first. And then clear this. Okay. Now, does he have Moltons in his deck? If it's a full handlock deck, and it appears to be since he has golden whatever cards, Moltons would be 5. If he taps it, will be 3 mana, but he'll only have access to 7. 3 mana Moltons on 7, so you can double Molten, but he needs 2 mana Moltons. The math is a little too complex. He can tap down to 1 mana Molten the next turn, but I think I'm just going to have to go for it. The swing turns are too strong for handlock. There's not much I can do here. I really need a BGH in this deck, which I can't have. There's the 3 mana Moltons. I would have tapped first to find a taunt, unless he already has a Sun Fury in there. Yep, there's already a Sun Fury, so we're pretty much boned. Yeah, it's not going to happen. I can clear. No, there's already enough damage. Well played.
Well played.
Yeah, not going to win against. Definitely not going to win against a handlock deck without BGH and without a couple of silences. which is something that I'll probably look to include that after I fill out the power curve of the deck. Handlock again. I sure hope this is. I was just checking to see the last play. No, it's not the same. So it's less likely to be a handlock, more likely to be a Zoo or some sort of a Demon Zoo. And this deck has a much higher chance against Zoo and Demon Zoo. Yeah, what would be my answer to handlock? What would I play? What would I put in this deck that would have helped me win that previous game? BGH, which I can't. I can't include BGH. Perhaps a Vanish? A Vanish doesn't really work against Moltons. Let me think. Black Knight, which is legendary, so no, not happening. What else? What else? Well, I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. What can you think of that is not legendary, not epic, not adventure, that I could put in this deck to face off against Moltons? I really can't think of anything. Good thing this is Zoo though, so question is, do I save the Pyro? Because the Pyro Fab is a really strong combo against all these little pesky minions that Zoo likes to develop. So that's definitely a consideration. Pyro, saving the Pyro. Depends on what I draw next turn. Hopefully I draw into a 2-drop, so I don't actually have to make that tough call. I'm inclined to actually just play the Pyro anyway, since the fan by itself can do enough work. I think I'm inclined to just develop the Pyro for tempo. What are you doing? You're sneezing. My dog has the sniffles. Okay. Hit. No. I save the backstab for a, like I said, Knife Juggler. You need to save your removal for premium things. A Haunted Creeper is not scary, but whereas there it is. But he can release the two little guys, which is going to be problematic. But that's still okay because I save the backstab, and the backstab will cleanly deal with the Knife Juggler, allowing me to weapon up. It's not the best turn. I could have fanned to cycle. That might have been actually a better play. To find a 4-drop play, but I really do feel that fan is really useful in this deck against things like Imp Gang Boss and Implosion. So it's hard to say what was the most relevant play there, and that's fine. This trades into Imp Gang Boss, but gives me a very simple clear with a fan if I choose to use it or something else. It's not too bad against Zoo. You always want to contest the board with Zoo, even if they get favourable trades, because towards the late game, they have like small pesky minions where you will have big scary minions, and the big scary minions often require multiple small pesky minions to deal with. Okay, I think I will actually, I'll play the Shadow Pan. Yeah, I'll play the Shadow Pan. Do I tank 4 damage? No, I don't. Yeah, the Shadow Pan, like I said before, big, strong minions are difficult for things like Zoo to deal with, since they don't run many. Okay, unless you got that. Since they don't run many hard removal spells, their hard removal comes in the form of Abusives and Dark Irons. Okay, double fan is actually not bad here. I think I'll do it. Allows me to clear the majority of his board, leaving up just the Dark Iron. Excellent. And he spent a fair amount of resources dealing with my Shadow Pan, and the Shadow Pan itself wasn't that threatening. A 3/7 Shadow Pan drew out 2 buff cards, which is not too bad. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just yeah, that's fine. I can reach that. I can reach that with my Storm Pike. That's powerful, but we will see what happens. Ooh, excellent. So the tournament attendee is going to do a lot of work for me, because he'll block the Void Walker, and I mean he's definitely going to want to send the Void Walker in, and these 2 minions challenge what's on the rest of his board, and I'm ahead on cards. He can life tap, of course, but it slows down his turn as a whole. He reverts back to a 5 mana turn. There we go. There's the Implosion. Unfortunately, I used both of my fans. Okay, so he's going aggressive. That's probably correct. Probably correct. Shattered Sun. It's not going to be... Yeah, I don't think we can make it out of this, actually. I think there's just a little bit too much pressure. I don't know if I should have given the Shattered Sun, played the Shattered Sun instead. There's a 6 damage on the board, so he's missing 2. Yeah, we're pretty far behind. He started a little strong. What was the swing turn there? The Argus on the Imp Gang boss. That was the swing turn, and I couldn't really do much about that. I had to just pass whilst I waited for things to happen. Yeah, so it was the Argus that swung the game there. But hey, that's what happens. You play against... and also the... well played. Yeah, it's the Argus turn. What would I do against an Argus turn? Another sap? I might actually consider putting another sap. Now that I think about it, you know, the sap as a pseudo silence isn't too bad a card. All right, well, let's wrap it there, guys. I think we did okay. You know, we went up to rank 17. We went close to rank 16 and went back down to rank 17. That's just how the game is. That's just how climbing the ladder is. Anyway, thanks in advance for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, all those good things. I do this for the love, and you know, any show of appreciation from you guys means a lot to me. So until next time, have a lovely day, and this is No Dust signing off.